country with an island vibe. I swear Guyana nice. And yeah, we just down all night. Mixing the 5-year Kabisa with eyes. So Tony got the whole place hype. And we celebrating life. Coffee in the morning, so we toast it. Say we just fine aisle, but emotion. No, we ain't boasting. No. Oh no. I ain't going nowhere. I love this place. Guyana. Oh no. Welcome to Moko. Every country want friendship, like the village on the East Bank. But you can't hang if you ain't gang. For my first interview, I tell police thanks. And I brought the bag, my passport, you got a stamp. You can't answer Brad if you can't answer yard. We gon' catch it when it's good, cause we say when it's hard. Not for them, live in country and people don't spend it long. Them man of them is proud, not for them sell the land. We pay rent on another land. When Guyana got a lot of land, but they blame the government. But this nation got God cover us. Blessing on everyone, listen brother man. Put 2 and 2 together, don't listen to the one. Some of them just like alcohol, heap of stuff. Anywhere we go, we just run. Buy this a GT boy, yeah, we got the team with blood, so. Oh no, I ain't going nowhere. I love this place. Guyana. Oh no, welcome to Moko. Oh yeah. Yeah, a country with an island vibe. I swear Guyana eyes. Yeah, with the
This is Quincy Anderson. You know I love my country. There's no other country better than mine. Welcome to Guyana, land of 6 races, 6 different faces, and we all live in love. Guyana is a beautiful country, no other can compare. Got everything right here, so no other can compare. Guyana is made up of so many natural resources. We don't need no forces, cause we got enough resources. Let's talk about bauxite, gold, diamond, and rice. We got it right here. Guyana ain't going nowhere. We got enough oil too. One Guyana, I love Guyana. Guyana, my country, my home.
أصبحنا وأصبح الملك لله والحمد لله لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد وهو على كل شيء قدير ربي أسألك خير ما في هذا اليوم وخير ما بعده وأعوذ بك من شر ما في هذا اليوم وشر ما بعده رب أعوذ بك من الكسل وسوء الكبر رب أعوذ بك من عذاب في النار وعذاب في القبر.
Heavenly Father, as I rise to greet a new day, I humbly come before you with a grateful heart. Thank you for the gift of life and the opportunity to experience this day. I surrender my plans and desires to your divine will. Guide me in every step I take, that I may walk in alignment with your purpose for my life. Grant me wisdom, strength, and clarity as I navigate the challenges and blessings that lie ahead. Fill me with your love, grace, and compassion, that I may be a source of light and encouragement to those I encounter. May this day be filled with your presence, and may I reflect your goodness in all that I do. In your holy name I pray. Amen.
श्री सिद्धि विनायक नमो नमः अष्टविनायक नमो नमः गणपति बप्पा मोरया
ॐ गणपतये नमो नमः श्री सिद्धि विनायक नमो नमः अष्टविनायक नमो नमः गणपति बप्पा मोरया
ॐ गणपतये नमो नमः श्री सिद्धि विनायक नमो नमः अष्टविनायक नमो नमः गणपति बप्पा मोरया
ॐ गणपतये नमो नमः श्री सिद्धि विनायक नमो नमः अष्टविनायक नमो नमः गणपति बप्पा मोरया
Courdel. A pleasant good morning to those who are tuning in. A pleasant good morning to each and every one. And I must say thank you once again for being on another episode on the Wrap. My apologies. I'm coming from actually I'm sitting in the car right now, so I'm having a little disruption in the home. I'm getting some things sorted out with the electricity, but that would be rectified very soon. However, thank you guys for being here once more. And this morning we will have a very fruitful and responsive conversation. We have guests here. We have Councillor Don Singh and also Councillor Odwin Ashby, who will be joining us this morning. So, with any further delay, I can't really see those who are tuning here. I would leave that for Courdel because I can't really see that on my phone. Because I'm coming from my phone, not from the laptop. So I would allow the way for Courdel to do that. So good morning to you, Courdel.
One morning, champ. What happened? You know, you didn't start this program in a while. We're looking like you're surprised to throw your back. Expect. You're mixing in action. You're mixing in action. Anyway, today's Thursday, the 30th. And we got a lot to discuss this morning. As you said, we have Adwin Ashby and Don Singh, two councillors currently on the city council, elected at the just concluded local government elections, and they'll be sharing with us some of what we already know, the dysfunction, the madness, the corruption that is the PNC in City Hall. Despite the increase in numbers, the PNC still controls City Hall. And they are trying to show us that it's the same old PNC. So I'm going to allow Adwin and Dan to elaborate a little more. What's the weather looking like out there, Kevon?
Well, it's I can't say we have a bit of overcast, but it's very beautiful here in Linden. Always. We always know Linden is the most beautiful place in this country, and we have some of the most special people in this country in Linden. They're special in their own way. So it's very nice here. It's very nice here. Plus, don't forget that we get free electricity. All compliments of the People's Progressive Party, civic government, and Barjack, they by extent.
Subsidized electricity, sir. Subsidized electricity is not free. Anyway, I wanted the general public to know that I was blocked from Simona Broom's Facebook page today. She was there lying to the people. She was lying to the people, and I couldn't allow it. So I got in the comments and I reminded her she's talking about our president and Kevon. Anyway, she was talking about our he's back, he's here. So she was talking about our president and his press conference yesterday, and the president should implement plans from Granger and about what's the nonsense Simona Broom's talking. She's upset that the president wants the cabinet to learn Spanish, stuff like that. Now, Kevon, if you remember, Simona Broom's children them get scholarships from this government to go and study. So what if the president wants his cabinet to learn Spanish? You understand me? The hypocrites, I can't understand them. The nonsense. But we're gonna deal with that down to the end of the show. Let's bring in Don and Adwin there, so we could get this thing started. So morning Don, morning Councillor Ashby. Good
Good
morning to you
morning,
guys.
gentlemen.
Thank you for joining the program. So you guys were sworn in at City Hall recently. Um, Tell us a bit about the swearing in before we jump into the nitty gritty of what's happening there now. How was the process? We'll start
So,
with you, Adwin.
good morning to all the viewers out there. As you have known, we sworn in approximately a week now. It was a very interesting swearing in. We would have noticed some stuff, some irregularities from day one. Nevertheless, we are 11 strong and capable of dealing with them. So we'll go into that a little bit more down the line. Don, who is now Councillor Don, who is now on the Finance Committee. So rest assured that as Councillor Don sits on the Finance Committee, all the irregularities that will have been there for the past 57 years will surely go through to fine teeth comb.
So Don, you're as Adwin is as well new to the council. What has been the experience been like since swearing in to now? Like how have you been, interacting and you've been looking at the workings of City Hall. What is that like so far?
Right. Morning, Kevin. Morning, Courdel. Morning, viewers. Look, so whilst I might be new to the council, I've sat in on many, many meetings from the gallery, from the parking meters, thing go onwards and upwards, and every scandal they've had in there. Nothing has really changed. There's a level of hostility, unnecessary hostility in City Hall. I don't understand it. I mean, aren't we supposed to be elected by the people to do the work of the people? And when we get there, we're not infants, we're not children. We sit down and we work things through and we can be civil to each other. It seems somehow the PNC is not capable, or the councillors are not capable of civility. The minute you get in there, they stare at you with outright hostility. They look at you. I went across to the other side. I tried to shake a few hands. A few of them refused. Councillor Forte or whatever, he looked at me in a disgusted and took his hand away. And I'm like, okay, so is this a Norton thing? We're not shaking hands now. I mean, I was trying to set the tone. Let's live good. But I'm just angry. There's a lot of angry people over there. I don't understand what they're angry about. I don't know what the home life they have. They're just angry all the time. I mean, so whilst I was not unaccustomed to the hostility, having sat in a lot of other meetings from the gallery, from the public gallery and stuff, I just thought maybe it's 2023, our country is progressing at the rate of knots. Maybe we could have turned the corner at the local government level, and let's see how we can work together. But it's going to be a long 3 years. That's all I'll say at this time.
I know you're able with the fight. So guys, I want to take you guys back to the election of the mayor. Now, as we all know, Mr. Mentor was elected mayor of the city, the mayor who lost his constituency. And I have to remind people, the mayor of Georgetown did not win the area he contested in the local government election. So he was foisted on the people of Georgetown. Right? Now, Adwin and Don, in your view, the PNC camp, were they unified in the selection of this mayor, Mr. Mentor?
In my view, definitely not. As you have known before leading up to the election for mayor, they had massive back and forth inside their camp. At one point, you had Mentor for mayor, you had Councillor Gary for mayor, you had Councillor Solomon for mayor, you had Councillor Sull for mayor. So at one point, you had four mayors, 4 persons for mayor. I think Mentor is a reflection of one person in the party, not a collective decision by the executive members of the party. That is my view. I'll let Don elaborate on his end.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you on that, Adwin. You could tell from the body language within the council or the pre-council meeting, there was a lot of back and forth, people running out to the gallery, whispering in ears. There was furtive glances across the room. I mean, it was from our end, it was just bemusing. And you can tell when the mayor elect was actually elected, the euphoria in some sections, the glum looks in other sections. That there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes. Maybe the leader of the opposition wanted mentor. Maybe there are factions. Perhaps the Rydale faction, maybe the Amanza faction. There's a lot of factions going on over there. There's lots of stress going on over there, boy. But I don't think it was unanimous, as you asked, Cordell. I think it was accepted, but there's lots of negotiation, pushing and shoving going on behind the scenes. 100% of them, sure of that.
So, Admin, we got some video here in relation to the first sitting of the council. I wanted to run that, and then you could give. Oh, just a second. Just a second. But before I get into that, let me get the video up. Now, a couple of days ago, we would have learned that the mayor is involved in the finance committee somehow. Could any one of you elaborate on that, and probably for the viewing public, share with them that, well, why this is not normal, or what if this is normal?
So on the laws, the bylaws for the municipality of Georgetown, the mayor has the right to sit in any committee because he is the mayor.
Mhm.
Um, on the first statutory meeting, which was when on the swearing in, what we will have noticed is that the APNU councillors elected the mayor elect to be a member of the finance committee. That there is a conflict of interest. How could the mayor be a part of the finance committee when that finance committee has signatory rights and also approves and sign off certain financial decisions for the city of Georgetown? It's totally against the laws. If the mayor should have declined, if he would have declined, he would have said, well, okay, that's a favorable thing. I am the mayor. I could sit in the meeting. So I decline. Bring a next person to the committee. So they first went on to choose a seven-man committee. And this despite the mayor said, hey, let's throw the ratchets behind us and let's move forward. I would have think that if you wanted us to move forward in selecting a seven-man committee, you propose three of your councillors and let the people propose three of their councillors, not 5 and 1, because basically
Right.
5 and 1 goes back to what we would have observed for the past 50 plus years. With 6 to 1, how much you don't have much decision there. With 6 to 1, if you go by a vote, that's it, right? So as much as they say, hey, let's throw the ratchets behind us, they still bring the same old mentality to this new council. On the first sitting here, it is massive variety. Mayor sitting on the finance committee. Then they went to choose a vice. They went to choose a seven-man. They did not choose a vice chair. Again, how could you choose the chairman and not choose a vice chair, right?
Right.
So that's my thing on it. When we put forward, and this is show again because they said, hey, we're willing to work for the betterment of Georgetown. We would have selected a few persons up for nominations for the committee. Councillor Singh was one. Myself was another. Councillor Chase Green, former mayor, was one. It shows clearly when they heard Councillor Chase Green, everybody said no, right? They rather vote. 27 of them voted unanimously for Councillor Singh to be part of that committee and not Ms. Green.
Mhm.
If you want inclusion, you're bringing a new, you're saying, hey, let's throw the ratchet between us. Let's work collectively. You have 4, we have 3. That you could take chair, we take vice chair. That shows the people of Georgia that, hey, this is a new breed, this is a new era, and we're committed to working, to developing in a cohesive manner.
Right. 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 So, Admin, I got this video started here, and done. So I want to run it, and then you guys could give us a better idea of what was taking place. I think this was during the election of the mayor by council members. So we're gonna give that a run there. Let me. Are you guys getting audio?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but it is quite low though.
It's a little bit low.
There were no provisions made for members of the media. The persons who voted for Mr. Ash can be connected to show Mr. Ash.
Yeah, so that's the best I could do. The video is really big, so I can't upload it to the StreamYard. But I see some of the councillors there telling other people to put down their hand and all kind of thing. What's going on in there, man?
Go ahead, Arvin.
I, that was very interesting because you had Councillor Fraser, I believe it's Councillor Fraser, I think Councillor Humphrey to some extent. So at that point in time, I was actually stunned from the other side of the gallery when I saw Councillor Fraser and a few other councillors raise their hand. And there was a councillor sitting next to them. He's like, no, 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 put down your hand, put down your hand. So that shows that even from day one, they don't have confidence in their selection for mayor.
Right.
Right, because if
Yeah,
you're gonna raise your hand on our side,
or it could be
box it down.
they're just clueless to what's going on. I mean, they have 19 people over there, and I figure 14 of them don't even know what they're doing there. They're just a party favorite or a buddy say, oh yeah, I'm gonna put you out of it. They have some clueless people that looking, they're doodling on the pad. I swear to God, it's just numbers making up. I mean, you look at Councillor Winston Hardin, the alleged child molester or whatever. This man just look clueless. He's staring at the sky like, oh my God, what time is coffee and tea? And they bring in sandwiches today.
You see the councillor from Travis Ellis or something like that?
Yes, could be Councillor Ellis who said, hey, put down your hand. But that is a very key point because
I maintain Don and Odwin. That young man only made it because he had nobody else to put there. He can't formulate a sentence, a plan, a project, or anything for those areas that he's representing there now. You all will see it in time. You will have the opportunity to speak there. And you all will see it for yourselves. Sorry, Odwin, continue.
Well, just before you go, Odwin, I could tell you about Mr. Ellis. Mr. Ellis is very good at maintaining an angry face. For 2 hours, this man just got a scowl on his face, vex, staring vex. So I know what your experience.
He's a Kaitor News employee, Mr. Ellis. You understand me? That's why when you see the vice president would say, Glenn Lal, like he's a faction of the PNC. It's true. Mr. Ellis is from Kaitor News. He works here. You understand? And he's not a reporter, he's not a proofreader, he's not a DJ, a technical operator. He just stack the papers when the printer prints it out, he just put the papers together. That's Mr. Ellis. I used to work at Kaitor News, I could tell you all that with confidence, not the meaning his job. But I'm saying I know the gentleman very well, and I speak with confidence when I say you will receive nothing of substance from that councillor. Nothing. Continue, fellas. Sorry about that.
And to the point that Don would have made, I even recall at one point, at part of the committee, they nominated. So when you nominate, somebody nominates, somebody seconds, and then somebody closes. After the first nomination, one the councillor said, I rise to close. And I'm like, how could you close if you haven't second? Y'all are new to this. Right, so it rests in what Don was saying. A lot of them probably have never read the bylaws,
right,
or even know what is their role as yet. Right, so that says right there, because if you're going in as a councillor, you must have a carcass. You must say, well, hey, these are the following protocols to be followed and observed. So it shows clear that as much as they're there, you had some amount of miscommunication, or like I would have said, they just don't have confidence in their selection choice of mayor. I know there are a few councillors among there that are very confident that come at the next sitting for mayor, they will have the support of the party, and that's the interesting part.
Yeah. So go ahead, Kevon.
No, I was just I think listening to going back to the part that where Dan and Ashby would have said, I mean Councillor Dan and Councillor Ashby, let me just get that correct. Right? Let us give these guys the respect. I would have the part when they said, the persons were beside in the video, people would ask to put their hands down and so on. Keeping you have a bunch of councillors who sailing on a boat who don't know how they got there in the first place or where they're going. And then secondly, that reminds me of, or that is the modus operandi of the PNC in 2018 when they tried to tell Charles no. You understand? It
Yeah,
all
Karen,
brings
that
back
get
to
over
the
slap. You remember
it,
Karen?
it's the same thing. It's the modus operandi of these people. And these people don't know where they are, where they're going, and this is a perfect example that that shows that we are not, we are it's we are we Jarshong, for a matter of fact, the only hope for Jarshong in moving forward is our 11 councils that we have. Otherwise, to that, with the councils of the PNC, Jarshong will be in
And,
total mess.
and
So I
let me say
do.
this, Kevon. Not
Uh-huh.
to cut you, but to note, when you look at our councils or our selection, that shows diversity, not only
Yep,
in
yep,
ethnicity,
I
but
agree.
in terms of professional orientation. When you look across on the other side, look at the age range. How much young persons? I would have been of the opinion Mr. Fraser is very, very intellectually inclined. Why not rest and Mr. Fraser as part of the committee, the finance committee? You brought Councillor Sull, which was former CEO of Housing, to chair the committee. Is that really an improvement or a demotion?
It's
Or
just
is
modus
it an improvement or a
operandi. It's
demotion?
the modus operandi, concurrently. It's the modus
But look,
operandi.
look, you guys, listen. And when you just mentioned Councillor Humphrey, now there's a video with Councillor Humphrey talking about Lane Avenue and what is government money and the people money and what it's supposed to do, what they're not supposed to do. Adwin, Don, and Kevon, I sit here to tell you, right? The resurfacing of the road on Lane Avenue was done under this administration. The rebuilding of several steps that lead to those range houses to the end of Lane Avenue closer to Cemetery Road was done by this administration. You understand? The little lighting that put in Lane Avenue there, done by this administration. So for Councillor Humphrey, and I'll play the video shortly, to
Mhm.
even step forward to say that whatever is being done is government's money and they're supposed to do it. Councillor Humphrey, why did the PNC, AP, and UFC why did they do it? Why did they resurface those four roads? The PNC has been in control of the council. It's still in control of the council. Why has nothing been done in Lane Avenue since? Oh my God. These people here are good.
But Cordell,
No, yeah.
Cordell, these people only know these things conveniently, because when the Armenian people voted them out in 2020, those are the same people who come out on Facebook and say, look how much money Granger spend, and look how much money the Apnu spend. But like they didn't realize it was taxpayers' money and it's government money. All of a
Kevon,
sudden, now they know this. They only recall this conveniently.
Kevon,
Conveniently,
you
they
know,
recall it.
that marks a very important point. I was scrolling the other day, and not just to show off, I was scrolling the other day, and there was something on I think it's Forbes magazine or something, identifying the top 10 rich persons in the country. So you have Mr. Mohammed, Big Mohammed, you have Junior Mohammed, you have the vice
Mm.
president, and fourth is President Granger. So that is one to note. I kid you not. I was scrolling and I was like,
Man,
okay, Shell is acceptable. Junior is acceptable. Vice President have a
Daniel,
tremendous sit-ins and
Daniel,
whatnot. But when I saw Mr. President Granger, I was like, huh? You were the fourth richest person in the country based on this? 5 years, 9 years, 4 years in parliament as opposition and 5 years? What? Right? So going back to notes and going back to Mr. Humphrey, Councillor Humphrey, it is utter disrespect for you to say that the vice president should give the people a rod rather than a fish. I'll tell you why I say that. In her sentiments, quote unquote, Lane Avenue have been there in existence for the past 57 years. Never had the PNC, which is their stronghold, went in to say, hey, let's regularize the land. Let's stop thieving of light. Let's give you guys water. Let's give you guys a makeover. Let's see how much scholarships we could do. Never. So for you to say, hey, we got to do it. Yes, as a government, we have to do it, but have the PNC government serve the people of Lane Avenue for the past 57 years? Have the city hall serve them? Why is there still garbage being dumped on the reserve? Why the drains can't be clean? So when you want to make certain remarks, let's be realistic. You have failed the people. Now government is going in to say, hey, look at upliftment. Why would you neglect or stop progress?
Adwin, so she was talking about the training program bits that the Vice President brought, Minister Hamilton, he brought Professor Opadai from Gold. So persons in Lane Avenue can upskill themselves. And you spoke about her saying, give a fish and give a rod and all that nonsense. I don't want to cut like critic. I don't want to cut like critic on this life. But my point is, Adwin, do you remember, and Don, and Kevon, do you remember on the campaign trail 2015, the AP and UPNC promised jobs to the young people? But when they got into office, you understand, they tell the young people to go and sell plant in chip and cook up on them stupidness. I'm not saying them jobs are stupidness. I'm saying they promised jobs and then they said that the government, it's not the role of government to provide jobs.
I remember that very vividly. That whilst they promised jobs, the only thing here, I tell you what I give the AP and you compliments for, and they garnered the support of young persons coming into elections 2015, I think it was, right? Coming into elections 2015. They garnered the support of young persons. But the only thing they delivered on their promises, I must give them that, are broken promises to the young people. Broken promises, failures, because a lot of young persons went out and backed them. It was former Minister then Volga Lawrence who said, hey, I will only give PNC people work. And you tell me that this is something that we have to do. If you only giving PNC people work, it was the same past President Granger who said, hey, it's not my job to find work for persons, right? What are your government for?
You know, let me just jump in quick before we move on from Councillor Humphrey and her ranting and raving the other day. As a councillor, she seems not to know or understand that the roads and waste disposal and collection is under the purview of the city council. I mean, you know, I sat there, I looked at this thing and I was flummoxed because I don't understand what she was talking about. She's a councillor, should know the roads are supposed to be maintained by the city council. And her party, which has been in control for 57 years, has done nothing. So it always falls on the onus on central government to step in and do it. And they have been doing it. And, you know, secondly, this lady went on and cuss and rant and jagdeo this and jagdeo that. And not one time in her 10-minute spewing did she say, as your councillor, I will do this. I will make your life better like this. Not one time.
I was saying, not once.
It's just abuse down for abuse down's sake, and nothing productive comes of it. And I don't get it. I just don't understand it. How are you going to ask them next time?
I feel these people are just
Kevon, I think you should play a part of the videos. The persons could just hear and see.
Sorry. Sorry, go ahead, Edwin.
I think, you know, we should play a part of it, because if this is the council that is representing the municipalities of Georgetown, not Lane Avenue, not Working Ross, not Sophia, but the whole of Georgetown, and you're coming to the council with this animosity and behavior, what are we really faced with? It's the same history or the same past 57 years that's replaying itself. It's just different faces. So when the mayor-elect says, hey, I want to throw the ratchet behind and let's work, let's see if they really want to work to develop Georgetown, or are they just being hypocrites?
Adwin and Don, with the points y'all made just now, we know for sure that the PNC were in charge of upgrade of that area. So they can't come now and say to the Vice President that it's the people's money you're supposed to. Indeed, it's taxpayers' money, but the responsibility, as Adwin just said, is City Hall's own. You understand? And they have been neglecting that area all the time. So now the Vice President comes in. Now you remember Lane Avenue to come out and say, well, they're supposed to this. Why weren't you doing the job you were supposed to do? But let's run the video so the boys can have an idea of what we're talking about.
My thoughts today as I make my way into the crowd that only a few knows me. The Vice President is here, and I know with all the dreams that he's selling them is because of the fact they have the resources to do so with our money, and I want the people of Lane Avenue to understand.
I have to stop you there.
So wait, that's very point. PPP don't sell dreams. We give people the reality. Selling dreams is what Granger did.
Put that aside, Edwin. 2015, 2020, they had the resources, they had the executive and the council.
Exactly.
Well done.
Just very quickly, at the very start of that video, you heard what she says, I made my way between the crowd as very few people know me.
Right.
I mean, oh God, Lord, have mercy. Me mama,
my goodness.
You don't open your mouth and things come out. You don't know what come out there. Stand steady. Me don't know what these people them.
Oh my goodness.
I would say nobody knows you in the area you represent. That is a colossal failure, dude.
Right. Exactly. Here, I can recall under the APNU leadership and then President Granger, they stopped a lot of programs. Right? Who cut the grants for children? Who took back monies? Who cuts the subsidies? So when you say, hey, dreams are selling, PPP don't sell dreams. Look at this. We are pushing young people, and we will have to realize that we're living in this era, so oil and gas emerging era. We're transforming Guyana, but we don't have skilled laborship. You think that is selling dreams? You work in an office, and no disrespect to the persons who are intellectually inclined and works in the office. You might be paid $250,000, $300,000. Those persons that are not intellectually inclined but have a skill set, which we are putting them to have a skill set to do operators, excavator operators, bulldozers, riggers. They make the bulk of the money. It's not the person sitting in the office that does the administration. It's the skilled workers. So we are equipping our young people to transform the next 10 years of Guyana. You're saying, hey, we are selling dreams. Selling dreams was a cardboard president that you had to go and take out a picture with. That is selling dreams.
Indeed. Now, the point again, that's why I cut the video. In 2015, so up to when they were still in the elections in 2020, Odinga, McDonald, they had the executive and they had the council. So why was nothing done for Lane Avenue? Why was nothing done in All Boys Town? Why was nothing done to the flooding in South Rumbelt and those areas? Why was nothing done to the Blacker Bridge in Sophia? Why didn't build the community center at North Sophia? Why didn't do the footpaths as joint A, B, and C fields? So in those areas that are their strongholds. So if that means I sell my soul, I sold the soul for betterment.
Progress and betterment, yes. Because
I pay taxes and I deserve better.
Point to note, you talk about selling dreams. How much persons acquire house lots on the APNU? How much persons acquire scholarships? Who misuse the slave program? And you tell us about selling dreams? We give people an option, a better choice, a better form of life to transform, to work together collectively, not giving you broken promises. So they should be the last to say about selling dreams.
The point you're making here.
Develop under us. Right, and that's the next one. Lynn was developed. Look at the massive transformation in Linden. Let's look in terms of the Amerindian communities. That was then former Minister Ali Cock. How much power did he have to give those persons in those communities grant? Did they do anything? Don't tell us about selling dream. Let's be realistic.
To answer your question, why is this not done? Why is that not done? Because they don't care. Because City Hall is basically a slush fund for the PNC to run campaigns and run other things. I mean, former Mayor Chase Green was saying, you know, when you on the finance committee, you check, you'll see a lawyer is paid $600,000 to write one letter.
One letter.
$600,000. And that's insane. I mean, and we talked about the parking meters and stuff, and she says, and she said it publicly at rallies, you know, I didn't wake up one morning and decide to do a parking meters deal. She says
Right.
cabinet signed off on it. Mr. Granger signed off on it. The
Exactly.
Minister of Foreign Affairs, the entire cabinet signed off, and that was supposed to be the slush fund to run the campaigns and whatever it is. So when you ask why they didn't do, because they don't care. It's about them. It's about enrichment, and it's about forwarding just getting as much money as you can. I mean, so
Look at it.
I just wanted to stick
Point
that
to
in.
note, Don. Point to note, they have never, for the past how much years, City Hall in your audit. But I got something coming for y'all, councillors. We are standing strong for the first part to be an audit of City Hall. So before y'all control the tender committee, the three statutory committees with finance, tender, social work, city
development.
improvement, city works and committee, make note that we come with a fine teeth comb. We comb it through.
Yeah.
I mean, just let me expand really quickly on it.
Let's show transparency.
I mean, they will holler on ball. Oh my God, we ain't getting subvention, and we want. I mean, they get the $30 million subvention, but now the central government has to take taxpayer money and give you. But if you can't see how you're spending it, how can I give you?
Exactly.
You know, I mean, the last time they got a subvention, the mayor, Mr. Pandit, bought himself a Kia. You know, it's crazy.
You know,
but you see, I understand the ethnic dynamics in the country where, you know, the Armenian people, I understand the ethnic dynamics here. But Courdel, what I want to get to, I just want to recall a bit all these people that is talking up, especially that one. What's her name again? With the video you played there just now, because
Miss Humphrey.
you and I were on the ground there, and one of the things that I noticed, and this alone sends a strong message to the APNU and the PNC, is that we have known Lane Avenue as being one of their strongholds. They call it their stronghold. And one of the things they based on there, because it's predominantly Afro-Guyanese that lived in that area, right? And what I noticed there, because myself and Courdel was on the ground there, is the strong resistance by those same people of Lane Avenue. The people literally cut them and chased them out of there. I saw Sherry Duncan came with his camera and he started. I saw the Loli Tiger and they came there. And the people were so defensive. The people went to crowd there and say, "Y'all get out of here." The shop to the west. Underneath the man telling me I'm there go through. I see Sherry pack up the camera, walk in the car. Shame. The people chase them out. Literally chase them out to the area. And one of the other things I admire what the vice president did there, he made it very clear. He said, "I am not making any promises on things that I'm not sure of." And what he also did, he didn't went there and put committees in place. He said, "You put your committees in place." There were other persons who were complaining about the squatters at the back. You know what the vice president said? He said,
I
"We
will
will
not be moving anybody. We will work with
they are
everybody."
entitled to living as well. So the man said, "Look," the vice president said, "Look, y'all put these committees together. You had the committees for the housing situation. You
Water,
had the committees for the
lights.
electricity situation. You had the committees for the squatting situation. Everything was being put in place by the people there." So,
Exactly.
when I look at what transpired that day, I felt so bad for them because they were literally chased out of that area that day. They were chased completely out of the area.
Person, I
So
don't
sad.
think, not to cut you, Kevin, I don't think PNC realize you do not own the rights or the birthrights to Afro-Guyanese. People want development. You're stopping progress. You think people can sit back and say, "Hey, all right, I want to live like this for the next 10 years? No. People want development. Everybody needs to go up in life. And that is what the PPPC stands for. That is what we offer to people. So when they say about selling broken dreams, let me give you this. Let's look at it, right? They're showing subvention. We haven't given them subvention. I know it's going to come as we go into City Hall. They're going to say, "Well, hey, PP ain't we ain't releasing the money and what's not." But let's look at some random figures. If you have 300
They don't have the budget.
300, well, that is true. They don't have a 2023 budget. That is so true. But let's look at it. You got 300 persons along board the market vending. Let's just say a figure $2,000 per day. By that 300 will give you 600,000. and then you times that, right? You'll end up with, you times that per week, you'll end up with about $4.2 million, right? And then you stretch that by 31 days. This is 130 million plus every month for just 300 vendors outside of border market. How much markets you got in Georgetown completely? Where is the funds going? Right? Where is the funds going?
You only talking about border.
City
Because
works.
You're only talking about
FPS
border.
opinion.
You got Stabro, you got the Penitence, you got the West Rumsfeld Market, the people paying admin. You know that. The people paying to you, especially West Rumsfeld Market, where all the roof them rocking and half of them people stalls and them think partner. Right outside the Lane Avenue. Why Mr. Humphrey don't go in there and see how City Hall neglecting that market? And that's why this gets so passionate, because these people barefaced. And they got people like Odinga who will come here and ask what the PVP do for Guyanese. Odinga, if we list them, this live will run all day for several days.
Here, sometimes it's better to say. Sometimes it's better to stay silent and remain your integrity than to speak and be thought of otherwise. So that's what I will say for that person.
You know, and he wants to debate me. I saw him. He post something here. I wish Odinga let me know we could do it live here, and we could have Kevon be the moderator, right? But anyway, guys, so we have established that Miss Humphrey here in good. We have established that. In relation to development in the city, audits at City Hall, and just working to revamp. I noticed in the video, there was somebody doing a live broadcast, and they were saying there was no provisions made for the media and things like that. How is it coming in terms of you guys getting City Hall to actually stream these meetings live from City Hall, and not, let's say, a journalist has to come and do it, but from coming out of City Hall, the stream?
I know the mayor mentor had mentioned in his first speech as mayor-elect that he will work and he will allow live streaming for transparency purposes. So with that being said, it's just for us to see the next statutory meeting if he sticks to his word.
Well, you know, on top of that, on a slightly different note, but in line with council and meetings or whatever, Mayor-elect mentor has to take charge of the hooting gallery, because there are just a whole bunch of PNC hollerers and shouters and just nasty behavior going on from the gallery. I mean, they do it unabated. Nobody tells them to sit down or you'll be put out. It's
Don and Adwin, is there any bylaws to govern that? Because I think in the gallery at Parliament you could come, but you got to be orderly.
Yes, and there are bylaws that cover it, but it's up to the mayor now to because he chairs the meeting, to says one more outburst and I'll have you removed by the chief constable or otherwise. But it works for him because, as I says, he's an unstable mayor-elect without the full backing, and maybe the ones in the gallery are with the other faction. So if he was to rebuke them or to reprimand them, he would face some fire later for that. So he just lets it go unabated. But that needs to stop. I mean, we should be running by the Roberts rules that governs any kinds of these meetings. And we have to get some law and order, man. It's 2023. We just can't be pedaling along with this nonsense. It really has to stop. And Mayor-elect mentor has to decide, step up, and do this.
He's the captain
because the deputy mayor-elect, Miss Miller, I've never heard of her, never seen her, have no idea or clue who she is.
So that's what I want
just
to
seems
ask
to
you
be
guys
there.
too. I've never, when I heard Deputy Mayor Miller, I'm thinking, have I ever heard about this person on council?
I did Wikipedia searches, Google searches, cannot find this person. I don't know who the person is. I mean, in terms of like a history of community work or a history of social work or any work. If you know what I mean. So I don't know where you're going, but that has to be taken in control. I mean, and I sat right next to the acting town clerk, Candace, and she was as frustrated as well. because she wants to get on with things, but there's
Yeah,
this ruckus going on behind.
to note at one point, as she read out what are the laws, the subventions on under the laws, at one point they were saying no. So that shows that them themselves don't know what are the laws to be followed. Right? Because I recall at some point she was reading it, she says, no, but this is the law. This is stated here. This is how the statutory must be followed. This is the agenda. Right. But let me say this out, because a lot of persons would have asked, will they continue to see the councils in the community? And just like we would have promised leading up to local government, that we will continue to come in each community on the Georgetown and continue to hear your concerns, continue to address it. We are currently identifying a sub office where you'll have PP counselors there that you could walk in and speak with to share your concerns. So as we go to statutory, we'll lament on what are some of the concerns. So you will continue to see us on the ground in all the constituencies to serve you, because we are very thankful that you would have shared our sentiments and given us your support. We started with 4 to 7, now we're to 11. It tells us that come the next 2026, we will control Georgetown and we'll continue to serve you, the people of Georgetown and the other 80 local areas that would have put us in place. We'll continue to serve you diligently to ensure that your concerns are met and that we restore the principalities of Georgetown and the other areas together with the work of the APNU Council and the mayor, or without them. So let me make that known. This is not then. We will not be bullied. We will not be insulted. We're willing to work with you guys. We'll work with you guys in a manner that is constructive, like Council Don would have said. We're not little kids. We're big people. We're working for the better cause of transforming Georgetown and the principality. So let's put heads together. I know I was at, and this is just going back, I was at a meeting at Plaisance with the vice president and a few other ministers when they had the issue in terms of the road. And what I must say is that there was a young man there who was the former deputy chair for the APNU. And when he stood to make his recommendations to the VP to deal with the market area and what's that, he says, a suggestion would be, let's maybe go up, or let's look for another space that we could accommodate. And I must say hats off to him, because that shows he's from the other side, but he's coming with a solution to solve the problem. So for the 19 councillors that are now elected, come with solutions. Don't come with negativity. Don't come with, hey, yes. Come with solutions. We will work to develop collectively.
Right.
Yeah. You got high hopes, though, Adrian. You got high hopes.
Here.
Come with solution.
They're innocent until proven guilty. I will give them that. Let's see if they really want to
Guilty. From my point of view, guilty. Odinga, I say the guilty. Odinga McDonald, they're guilty. They do nothing. Waste time. It's the PVP have to come and upgrade Moko. PVP have to come and upgrade Linden. PVP have to upgrade Albaistong. The PVP have to upgrade Sapphire. The PVP had to upgrade Lane Avenue. The PVP had to upgrade. Oh God, this place needs to get a land title from Minister Rodriguez the other day. Oh my God, it's another APNU stronghold. Or the PVP had to come and do that work there. You understand? Because indeed, the PVP is a government for all Guyanese. All Guyanese.
When you look at Courdel here, for that person, look at the track record. Look at when we started. Look at what the PVP stand for. Look at it. 4 years that APNU was in opposition that controlled parliament, and look at the other years that they were in government. How much they did fail? How much pension took back? How much land gave out? Who got the scholarships? Who got the slave program? Right? How much young people got work? How much people went?
Odwin,
it's clear.
Humphrey talk about land grabbing. That's
Councillor Saul, she should ask him to address the land grabbing matters. He's on the council. He was CEO for housing. So she should ask him how much land did they give out on the historiship as head of housing.
Courdel, you talk about running into a wall and bunks your head. So I read a letter yesterday in the paper from outgoing Mayor Ubraj. Ubraj is talking and lamenting about the seawall and how it this and that. Brother, you in charge for the last 5 years. You had a eureka moment when you get kicked out. I mean, not only that, it's his constituency.
Right.
Mano, I do want to run into a wall and just there, books, man, because like I understand what the hell going on. You
What
in
are you
charge of it,
talking
and you
about? This
complain
is
about
your
it,
responsibility.
and it's
Look,
in his constituency, even not even as mayor, it's his constituency. Oh,
Don,
oh my God!
Don,
Bye,
Don.
bye.
If it was not for Minister Ejil and
Yep.
Indar, what would have happened out there on the sea? Why you think the sea would have been looking like how it's looking now?
This.
Come on, New Brad, you should shame.
You saw the letter yesterday, though. You saw
No,
it?
I'm going to look at it. I'm going to go look at it.
Impossible.
There is no project in Georgetown that the city council, past or present right controlled by the PNC, could say, look and say, hey, we did this. This is something that stands out that City Hall did.
Look, I
There's
will tell you this.
nothing.
I went in twice on campaign trail. All of us went into certain constituencies, and people say, "Hey, we never see them. They don't come back. They only come and promise me this. When they get in, we can't even call them."
You remember Kathy used to say, don't call me for the weekend, we got lines. Don't call us on the weekend. Don't call us. You understand me? Now, before we head into the wrap up, fellas, I did say this guy Odinga McDonald wants to have a debate, but I am going to take the line of the vice president when Aubrey Norton asked him for debate. I'll say this to you, Mr. Odinga McDonald, you're not of the pedigree. You're not of the pedigree, sir. I will not waste my time to debate you. You're not of the pedigree. You leave me alone.
Kevon, one thing before we close, you know what's interesting? I heard Councillor Humphrey said we have the SOPs to show that
I mentioned earlier.
Lost only got 24 votes. Where are the SOPs that you got the SOPs to the local government? Where are the SOPs for the last election that you alleged so-called win?
I thought y'all didn't hear me. I asked for that earlier. I said, man,
What
talking about the
SOPs then? Numbers don't lie. Numbers don't lie.
Oh my goodness. So Odinga's not at a running. I want you to present your arguments elsewhere so I know the time wasting my time to debate with you. You understand me? I don't want to be like Joel Bagodin and wait 2 hours on the Elson Low. So I want to make sure, Odinga McDonald, you're not another Elson Low that will got me stand up there spitting facts and you telling me nonsense, rebutting with nonsense. Can't even answer the young man from St. Stanislaus question yet that he asked you about what you will do different if you're saying things are going so bad now in oil and gas and in the other sectors. So exactly. I want to make sure that you are not another Elson Low Odinga McDonald. So you present the argument defending City Hall or the coalition, and then I will decide if I will debate you on those grounds. You understand?
Not of the pedigree. The pedigree.
Not the pedigree. He's a YC. He is a YC champion. You gotta be able to
down to the youth from St. Angela standing out. And he's much younger than them who's older. It tells you. It tells you where to look for what development to bring in.
My gosh. But you know what, Adwin, and I see the honorable former mayor, Miss Patricia Chase Green is here. I'd like to say a special good morning to her. And one of the things I admire from the former mayor, and that is why I say Flapraj could never step in her shoes. I used to see Miss Chase Green quoting the bylaws out she head. She not to jump in the book. You understand me?
Let me
On numerous occasions.
Former Mayor Miss Green is a phenomenal person. She, in terms of the bylaws and knowing the code of conducts and what the laws are, phenomenal. It's a pleasure to have her on our team and working with her because she really mentors us in terms of what are the bylaws who should be followed and governed for City Hall. And that is what we would have expected to see from this new elected councillors, that they're bringing persons of substance and tangibility to the table. Not some of these people who can't know when for close and what's not. All right. So, like I said, we are willing to work with you. First thing, we want to audit the city hall. We ain't going down these roads to say, hey, this you want to come clear, you want to throw the ratchets behind, bring an audit. Let's look at the departments that need to be improved. Let's look at how we work together to beautify and restore Georgetown. Don't come with, hey, this was done and that was done. And no, no, no. We're working together to transform Georgetown collectively as a group. If you really want to throw the ratchet behind, come, let's see what we're working with. Don't come with, hey, no, this and no, 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 no. Because based on the little maths, y'all got 130 million plus from one market. So y'all can't tell me garbage people can't come wrong. And for us, we are councillors. We have to solve the problems in Georgetown now. We make the decisions for the people. Say, don't represent the PNC. You represent the people of Georgetown, despite of creed, race, or color.
That one got done is on that finance committee, and no foolishness not gonna fly here. And even if they want to fly it, you can let us know, so we gonna put it out in the public.
Absolutely.
We're gonna put it out.
That is the transparency and accountability that we need to bring to the people of Georgetown who elected us to put us there to say, hey, we'd like to have a say in our affairs. We're asking you to do this. And that is just to expand on the point that Councillor Odwin made, is that we have not disappeared from the people of Georgetown or the constituency residents. We are up there still. And people are like, oh, what y'all doing here? I'm like, oh, we just come to check this drain. And I was like, okay, well, just strange, but thank you, you know. We have open communication and follow up with the people, listening to the people to do the people work. I mean, when we signed up to be councillors and our being City Hall, this is no glamour job, brother. This is bare stress you're dealing with. I mean, the stipend, the people says, people think you get a big amount to do this. The stipend per month is $64,000. Imagine you guys listen to PNC ranting and they will 64 grand.
Or the blank checks. Or the blank checks. Don't let it go there. The government.
Hello. Let me tell you y'all something right now. 64,000, according to Christina Max, it's big money. You know what I'm telling you? You relax yourself. Them people know why they're rowing. You understand? They know why they're rowing.
Courdel, let me say this. Just after we would have sworn in, we sat for about 2 hours discussing how we will go forward in these constituencies. We just swear in 2 hours after we sat down to discuss how we're going forward. We will have a sub office. We will have a website where persons can share our concerns we will address. We will be continuing to come into the constituencies to hear people concerns. We have an open door policy. You have our numbers, you can call us. We're willing to address whatever it is, and we're willing to work for the development of the people of Georgetown.
Adding to that, Odwin, your candidates who were not successful in terms of making it onto the council are still working in these areas. So Andre Jackman and Miss Wallace, along with Councillor Young, they're still working in Sophia. So there's got some work done in there recently in terms of some bridges and looking after the dam there in Sophia in terms of getting some work done so it doesn't wash away on the people in that community. And those persons, one person named my colleague that gets elected to council, Mr. Dion Young. Those are the two who are working in the community because they have a love for their community.
And Mr. Jackman is a phenomenal person. I know he's an accountant
by profession.
He wants to see the development of Sophia and of the residents. Myself and Mr. Jackman are very close. Let me say hats off to all the other 25 PR candidates and all the persons that were candidates on the PP slate. They continue to play an integral part in us going forward. So even as we are in City Hall, we're still relying on them, and the support is tremendous.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So even in New Amsterdam, this guy, Kwesi Joseph, he didn't win. I think Nicola Luther and a couple others made it into the council up there. But they're still working in the communities. They're still interacting with the residents to effect change, to bring development to those communities. In Linden, the same thing. They attacked Tricia Richards right here in town. But Tricia's still working in our community.
Yeah, Malcolm is still working.
Malcolm is still working, you know. All those people are still working in the communities. And I guarantee you, and the viewers, as you already come to see, all of them know, those persons will have more done in those communities than the persons who are elected to represent them.
So true, so true. Those are the liaison persons in the communities that voice we're there that brings the ears back to us. All right. All right. So I know we will continue to see massive transformation throughout Georgetown. We have worked out, like I said, we would have already worked out a proposal and an agenda. We're just waiting for the mayor elect to be sworn in, and then we'll go and say, hey, this is our agenda. This is what we want to do in Georgetown. Let's collectively work together, and then we will see if it's ratchet or 57 years of the same thing.
Right? Look, y'all got a lot of faith, but I know y'all ain't gonna give up. I ain't not gonna give up.
Not only we got faith, we vibrant, we young and vibrant. You check the age ranges of the councillors. If one down today, the other set don't go. We vibrant is not old people.
yeah. But the point was, y'all got the patience for it. I have patience, but I'm working on acquiring some more. Don, I know the harass Dan, Don will harass them. I don't know you can deal with it in your way, but you see this bad trouble. This I'm glad he makes on the council because I know any stupidest go on there. All I gotta do is check your Facebook. You got everything. But guys, continue the good work you're doing. Continue the good fight for the people in the city and by extension the rest of the country. You guys have made it onto the council. I know you're gonna have a lot of opposition from the opposition, but keep up the good fight. Keep doing what you're doing and representing those constituents who voted for you and even those who did not vote for you. Because
exactly. We're here to develop Guyana for everyone and for the next generation to follow. So there's not a one-sided thing. So we'll continue to pour out the love despite if you don't give it to us. We're here for development.
Yeah. So Dan, before we go, any closing words?
No, I mean I think we covered it all. I mean, but I'd just like to say I hope against hope that we can be cordial and respectful in council to get the people's work done. It's not been a really good start so far, but I mean, I really do hope that we can work together for the benefit of the people. I mean, I never lose focus on fact of you're elected there to do a job. The people's work, they've asked you to make their lives better. They've asked you to clean their drains. They asked you to do all of these things. And you know, why go ask somebody there for a job? Because during campaigning, I literally says, I'm asking you to give me the job to look after your life. And then I have to report to you. And if I don't do your job, fire me.
Exactly.
So now I got the job. Now I got to do the work. I mean, I hope everybody in the collective 30 would be of the same mind. And let's get it done, man.
Yeah.
Adwin, anything in closing?
Like I said, the residents and the persons for the rest assured will continue to work diligently. We're willing to work with the APNU councils and anybody from across the divide. Let's work collectively to transform Guyana. Let's look at making constructive criticism that will really transform and bring about a positive change in the lives of every Guyanese and every constituencies. Right? Collectively, I am optimistic that a few persons within the APNU will work with us. A few will work with us. The set might not. So that's it basically. For the viewers out there, you can rest assured too that every week we will have 2 councillors on the show, and we will be keeping you abreast with what is going on. You will see pictures of us going through, and our numbers are out there. You will have the sub office, so you can come and share your concerns. So it's up to the mayor now. It's up to the mayor elect now to steer his ship as the captain and not be led astray by your sailors.
Well, thank you guys for coming on the program this morning. I got a little musing to do, and I don't really like to involve the guests in it. So I'm gonna let you guys go. I'm gonna muse about 3 minutes. I'm gonna end this program. I'd like to maintain your reputation as councillors and good people, good standing people. But I got a banner in the comments named Samuel that I got to use if at least 2 minutes before I go. I don't like see the shipping it. Thanks again for coming on the program.
No problem.
Thanks for having us, Courdel. Appreciate it.
And anytime you guys need to highlight any issues or any nonsense, or even if you guys get them to be bipartisan and get them to do something good, I'll come on here and highlight it.
Sure.
I'd like to remind persons that we're Team Impact is still working on the cleanup effort for Mr. Williams in Pineapple Street East Rumbelt. And we are asking persons to please get on board, and you can contribute anything towards this cleanup effort. Today I will be going down there to do a live and put up some videos there. For those persons who don't know, Mr. Williams is the man who GWI was refusing him water connection because his father's connection, who had passed, his father had died.
Bill. And
Yeah,
it was the vice president again, according to Councillor Humphrey, who said, hey, he should not pay for his father, ensure his water is hooked up.
Yeah. So she didn't look after that. They go find she didn't know she to look after that shit backside. But anyway, like I said, one news. So you guys, thank you. I'm gonna see you all in the streets.
Remain safe.
Have a wonderful day, and carry on. Yeah, so they're gone. Samuel, look, sir, let me tell you something. Let me put up your comment before you say, I trying to hide things and them kind of thing. Long show, talk about them murders, crime, injustice, talk about that. Samuel, you super clown. From 2050 to 2020, why they didn't talk about that? Why they didn't investigate it? All the allegations that they were making of corruption, murder, black clothes, all kind of things that they talk of 400 black people who dead. Why they didn't prove that, Samuel? They had the police force, they had Soku, Sawa, Arabara, everything they had, Samuel. Why didn't they investigate it? Why you didn't investigate it since you know about these murders and this injustice that you're talking about? Huh? You know who in front of the court right now for injustice? PNC people for elections fraud, right? You know who we find out was corrupt? Patterson with the bangles, bracelets, and all that nonsense that he was doing, and Annette, and Trotman, and Jordan, and Minister George Norton. All those people you should probably look at investigating, right? Because those are the biggest clowns that we could have seen in that period of time. You understand? So you investigate that first. They had the entire state apparatus to bring justice to all those 400 people they claim were killed. You understand me? And they did nothing. But guess what? Was the word government? Your Minister of Finance almost got to jail. Almost went to jail. And the president had to pardon him. So until you all investigate some of the nonsense you all do, don't come on this platform to talk. Matter of fact, you can come and talk where you want. I'm not going to block you like how Simona Brooms blocked me. Your face Simona Brooms that could go on a live this morning. Never think, I got to take notes. Simona is fast people. Simona Brooms talk about making division in Guyana. The PNC spews the most racist content out there. Well, the WPN, y'all rifling each other in terms of racist content. You understand? You ever hear the PNC or the WP talk anything positive about Indo-Amerindian Guyanese? Apparently, there are only Afro-Guyanese living in Guyana. And I maintain, if you check it now, there are more Afro contractors than 2015 to 2020. So what happened there? What's the issue there? Why did the Afro Party or the party that claims to be Afro, they employ more Afro-Guyanese contractors? Why did they create employment in those communities that were their strongholds, like this government is doing? So in our boys town, we got several contractors who doing roads here. In Denhamstel, you got contractors from Denhamstel who hire in Denhamstel people to do work there. Likewise, our boys town, and I could name Linden all over the place. So you're creating money in the communities. New Amsterdam, where Concrete Rose building. So how dare y'all play you coming here to talk nonsense about discussing more than injustice? Why didn't discuss it then? Where were you, Samuel, to tell Ramjatan to investigate it? Where were you when the allegations were made that Ramjatan collected a certain money for gun license and they didn't investigate the borders and stuff? Y'all stop your nonsense with me, please. Stop it with me, please. I'm begging y'all. Please. Come here with sense. Come here and talk things that valid. You understand? I want to touch some more blues one more time before I go. Just give me 1 second. 1 second, people. Sorry about that. Sorry, but I'm back. Let's get my facts. So more Bruce talking about why they don't push some plan that Granger had. So Mona, you high? Are you high? Are you smoking the grass on that division that's inside your house there? Why Granger didn't implement his own plan? Why you didn't implement Granger's plan? Where was Granger's cabinet? You guys passed people to tell this government that they should implement plan that Granger had. Granger said to the people he got a plan in his back pocket and he took it out up to now, Simona. It's in his back pocket. The other day I hear Aubrey Norton telling somebody, I think the US Secretary of State, his plan for Guyana. The Guyanese people in here, he planned yet, but he telling the Secretary of State. Y'all for real? Someone you should shame. You should shame. You talking about guns. You talking about guns. You talking about guns with Amanza, y'all deputy leader, Annette, with all the numbers that y'all miscalculated. You talking about party that guns. Simona Brooms, back up yourself. Simona Brooms, you back up yourself. You block me, but I will keep watching you and I will rebut you here. Let me take off this joke of comment and don't give you no more publicity. You understand? But I have to touch on these few things here before I go. Simone is talking about President Ali saying that he was vexed he dropped Spanish in high school. And oh, that's a personal problem. Your children's education was a personal problem. Your children who wanted to go overseas to study was a personal problem. And you go and take it and make it a government problem. You took it and you made it a government problem so they could go and study overseas. So who are you now to say the president can want his cabinet to be okay with Spanish, given the countries that surround us? Why you didn't say that was a personal problem when you sending your children all over the place on the government money to study? Simona, now you realize what personal problems are? You need to remove yourself from here. You move yourself from here. You should talk. You should have gone out and protest when your husband, your son beat that woman in Bartica. That is what you should put on. No justice in a green jersey and go out on Coffee Square and protest when your son was involved in that matter. You understand? And that's not a lying again or liable. It is known. It is known. So people like you should be the last to play. You coming on social media like you righteous and you got any right to talk about certain things. Clean up your house first, Simona Broom. You clean up your house first, or you take that plank out of your eye before you look at a little speck in somebody else's own. Your child get to study. So what if somebody else gets a chance? You keep waiting on things. I'm waiting for you to put up a video and articulate your points like me. So it would warrant a response. You understand? All you are to me is just a name, Odinga McDonald. I don't know if you're really a fake or what. It could be a fake account. So you put up, just like I'm putting myself out here, you see my face, and I'm articulating my points. You do same, and on those grounds, I will decide whether I debate you. But as of now, in the words of the Vice President, you're not of the pedigree, so I won't engage you any further until you do so. You understand? She went on to talk about education. and Rupert Rupnarine and what he used to do. Now, Rupert Rupnarine is was the education minister and a knowledgeable man. And a knowledgeable man at that. You understand what don't Odinga I know is from PY, and if he's not Odinga, definitely you got the pedigree. If you're that Odinga from PYRG, I know we can't leave it. But so I hope you're not that guy. But she was talking about education and Rupnarine. Well, Rupnarine was an okay. Well, if it's Odinga from PY, no, we can't leave it. You know me level Odinga. You know that Odinga. You the running pon to Mary circuit with me Odinga and trip over nothing. You remember the time? The place flat and you running and trip over nothing and end up digging the inside of your ear. You're a special case. It's good to see you though, brother. I'm your youth friend. It's good to see you. But I won't debate you. That doesn't waste my time. But as I was saying in relation to this lady, Rupnarine was removed for Nicholas Henry and forget some order. Y'all remove Rupert Rupnarine and put Nicholas Henry. Nicholas Henry couldn't tell the difference between Pago and Diwali. Are you talking about advancing education? I think Nicholas nor Rupert could step in player shoe. Minister Manichan's shoes. None of them could step in Minister Manichan's shoes. None of them. Yes, Odinga, you're not of my level. No, sir. And you would confirm that the right person I'm talking about. Odinga, I'm saying you're not at my level to debate me. I have interacted with you for years, so I know your potential. I don't know if you recently went and upgraded yourself, but I'm saying to you, sir, based on what I know, you're not at my level. So anyway, so like I said, Nicolette and Rupert have not accomplished half of what Minister Malik Chan has done in her tenure, whether present or previous. You understand me? So please, don't involve these ministers, these hard-working ministers. Nonsense. But anyway, I'm gonna end this program now. I was happy to be here with you guys. Our guests, Adlin and Dancing, both councillors at City Hall. They are going to be pushing for change and development in the city. So you guys look out for more information coming from them in relation to what's going on there. Please, if you guys would like to make any donations towards the cleaning effort at Mr. Williams' residence, the numbers are on this screen. Make contact with myself or Kevon Lorrimer. Today I will go and get the video. I was really busy yesterday. So you guys have a better idea of what's going on there. I'll probably do a quick short interview with the gentleman so he can explain to you what the current situation is like for him. And it's all about reaching out and making Guyanese lives better. So if you're willing, if you're capable, you can even come out, if that's your donation, to come out on the day and put in some work to help get the yard clean, or when the construction company comes in to do the casting, if you want to come and assist with that, it will be welcome. We're taking the lead from the vice president who would have organized this gentleman's connection in terms of GWI. He was paying a bill that would have accumulated a high amount since his father would have died, and they didn't want to reconnect him until he would have paid that off, but it was remedied. He's getting water at home now. Now we want to make sure that he's living in a little better condition. So that's all for now. Thank you for all the persons who tuned in this morning. See you tomorrow, same time, same place, for another episode of The Wrap.
This is Quincy Anderson. You know I love my country. There's no other country better than mine. Welcome to Guyana, land of 6 races, 6 different faces, and we all live in love. Guyana is a beautiful country, no other can compare. Got everything right here, so no other can compare. Guyana is made up of so many natural resources. We don't need no forces, cause we got enough resources. Let's talk about bauxite, gold, diamond, and rice. We got it right here. Guyana ain't going nowhere. We got enough oil to one Guyana. I love Guyana. Guyana, my country.